The quicker that you say, yes, I'm a homeowner, is the quicker that you can also say, oh crap, my house has been possessed. Okay, lovelies, welcome back to my channel. I am back with another homeowner video, and today I'm going to be sharing with you what they don't tell you about being a homeowner. The truth about being a homeowner, heck, the struggles of being a homeowner, okay? And I had to learn these the hard way, but I want to be nice to y'all, and I'm going to share some homeowner tips so you guys are not caught off guard once you've bought your own house, you've got your keys, and you've moved in. If you're new here, hi, hello, my name is Lorraine, and my channel is LORRILUXXE, and I share everything about curvy fashion, affordable luxury, lifestyle, and also travel when we can. If you love that too, and I hope that you do, then subscribe to my channel and also press that notification bell. Join the family. What they don't tell you about being a homeowner is where you decide to live or to buy your house is very, very important. Location, location, location. Now listen, I love where I live, okay? I think it's a great location. It's a good location. But I want to tell you something. About a couple of weeks ago, I was at my dad's house and I got a text from a friend of mine who was basically saying, oh, hi Lorraine, I hope that you're okay. I heard that there's been a lot of flooding in such and such an area and people's houses have been getting flooded. I was like, what? Flooding in my area? My house has been, girl. I quickly got in my car and drove to my house to check that my house was okay. Thank God that it was fine. So let's rewind. Before you've actually bought the house or you've exchanged and all of that, there's some information that you receive from your solicitor, which is called searches. So these searches are basically like environmental factors about not only the house, but the location and the area of the house, okay? Now, I received these searches and I did scrutinize them to the T, and they did talk about how this area was prone to flooding. I kind of like Googled and researched to see when the last time there was a flooding in this area. I don't think there had been a flooding in the last 20 years. So I had all this information and I made that informed decision to still go ahead with the process. The research that I now need to do is, for whatever reason, if there's like a natural disaster, like a flooding, will I be covered on my home insurance, given the fact that this was already highlighted to me through my searches? I'm not sure. I think I still will be. Let me know in the comment section down below what you guys think. Do you think that will still be covered? But anyway, but the bottom line is location is very important. Where you decide to buy your house is one of the most important decisions that you'll ever make in your home ownership journey. Being a homeowner comes with a huge level of responsibility and commitment that sometimes you might take for granted or that you don't realize. The quicker that you say, yes, I'm a homeowner, is the quicker that you can also say, oh crap, my house has been possessed, okay? Because that amount that you pay for your mortgage and also the rest of your bills used to be your disposable income before you bought your house. And you probably would have looked at your account and thought, you know what? That's looking rather healthy, or I have a lot of money coming in and less money going out. Now that quickly flips when you become a homeowner. You have more money going out, so that's more expenditure than you have actually coming in. That's kind of like a reality check that hits you that first month or two when you actually start making repayments and actually start making payments for the rest of your bills. And you can't just say, do you know what, I'm just going to skip paying my mortgage this month, or I'm going to skip paying my water bill this month and I'll pay it next month because this month I want to get that Chanel bag. To be honest, you can do that because mortgage lenders and mortgage providers and also other providers can be quite understanding and perhaps give you a payment holiday, but you're still gonna have to pay that at some part, and you probably have to pay it twice. You're gonna have to pay it double. So it's also kind of like a lifestyle change and a mindset change that you also have to have in the first 6 months to a year of you actually buying your house. I spoke about lifestyle and mindset change when I was talking about actually saving and my journey to become a homeowner, but this is also a different kind of lifestyle and different kind of mindset change that you need to have, because your money is now attached to something. You are now responsible for something. You could lose this house. This house could get taken away from you, so you can't be as careless or as blasé as you might have been or as you would want to be with your finances. So this is a very very hard reality that hit me the first 3 months when I moved in, and I calculated all my expenditures from my mortgage, my gas, my electric, my water. Every single bill adds up, and when I got to the total, I was like, oh damn. Ain't nobody told me it was gonna be this much. Ain't nobody told me that my disposable income was gonna go from here to here. So yeah, that was a very, very humbling moment, to say the least. One of the most memorable experiences of my homeowner journey was picking up my keys and also unlocking the front door of my house for the first time. Honestly, I still see that in my head, and I'll always cherish that moment. It was also memorable walking into an empty house. When I say empty, I mean empty. There was no spoon or anything in the house. I had been picking up a few bits and pieces over the years. My advice would be, however, although it's good to be prepared, I wouldn't start buying big things like a sofa or a bed or even any kind of like home decor bits, because it's not until you actually moved in the place that you know what kind of style and then what kind of furniture that you want in your house. Because you might think that you know, but if you buy a sofa or a bed 2 years prior to you moving, you might not like that sofa anymore. Better yet, it might not even fit because you haven't done your measurements and stuff like that. So I would really discourage you to start picking up huge pieces of furniture before you've actually moved. I was actually quite fortunate in that I used majority of my parents' old furniture. So my parents' old washing machine, their old sofas, things like that. However, I didn't have a bed, so I had to sleep on the sofa for at least 2 months, and that was a struggle. I have a bad back as it is, so imagine sleeping on the sofa for a couple of months. People will see me unlocking my door, coming into my house, not knowing that I'm sleeping on my sofa for 2 months. So that's something to be mindful of in terms of like saving. Putting a cushion piece of money on the side, because it's not just the deposit that you're going to need, the legal fees or any other money that you're going to need before you move into the house. You need to start to think about the money that you're going to need after you've moved in. So my recommendation is, you know your style, you know your taste, you know the way you like to shop in terms of like home decor, stuff like that. So start budgeting and saving up how much you'd spend on a bed, sofas, fridge and things like that. This is all dependent on the fact that you've actually moved in the house. Some people who move in an apartment, on a flat for example, might come partially furnished with like a stove, fridge, washing machine and stuff like that. So again, this is dependent on actually where you're moving, whether you're moving into a house or whether you're moving into a flat. Biggest advice I could ever give you when it comes to furnishing is to take your time. Sometimes you can get quite impatient or excited that you want to start having people around and having your friends around to come and see you. So you want to furnish the house in a rush so that you can actually start having guests in the house, or so you can start to actually feel like a home. But sometimes when you do that, you end up buying things that are cheaper, should I say, or not as great. For example, the very first kitchen table that I bought was this wooden table, and I think it was like 60-70 pounds, and it looked okay, it looked cute, it came. But once it came, it was very cheap looking. It was like wobbly and stuff like that. It wasn't great at all, and it did not fit my aesthetic. And to this day, this table is in my shed, okay, because that's where it belongs, girl. It belongs in the rubbish, okay. But I wasted this money because I was rushing just to have anything, which is another reason why no one came to my house for a good 8 months to a year after I bought my house, because I soon realized that I wanted to take my time, and I didn't want to have that pressure of people coming to my house and me feeling embarrassed because I didn't have a lot of furniture. So definitely take your time, look around, go on Pinterest, go on Instagram, go window shopping at your favorite home decor shops and furniture shops before actually taking that plunge and making that decision. You don't want to have a first set of furniture and then once you've been in the house for like a year or two, you hate everything and then you have to re-buy everything. It's a waste of money. So take the flip side of being a homeowner is that you can't just say, I've had my 7-day trial of being a homeowner and it's not for me, I don't want to do it, I want to take it back. No, girl, you're stuck with that for at least as long as your fixed rate. If you've gone for a fixed rate, so let's say for example it's 3 years or 5 years fixed rate, you're gonna have that house for at least that term. Even if you've gone for a variable, I think you have to wait maybe even a couple or 3 years before you can even remortgage. And also, if you do want to sell it, you're not going to get any profit from it because you haven't had that house for that long. So if you're one of those spontaneous people who like to move around, or maybe you didn't do any research in terms of like where you want to live and you've moved in and it's a really quiet place and you'd rather be in like the city and have that bustling noise, or you've moved to the city and it's too noisy and you'd rather be in the country, it's really, really important to do your research about where you want to live, where you're going to live, because this is somewhere that you're going to be for quite a long period of time. So you need to have a certain level of commitment to be a homeowner. If your dating life is like you go from one guy to another guy, from one girl to another girl, you cannot bring that level of commitment or lack of commitment to this process of being a homeowner. Another thing that they don't tell you about being a homeowner is that the buck stops and ends with you. No one's gonna come reminding you and say, oh Lorraine, it's now time to pay your bills, or this is now due, or you now have to do that, or this has to get fixed, or you have to. No one is coming to save you, girl. You are the superhero, you are the superwoman, okay? So that's something to take note, especially when it comes to keeping on top of bills. There are a lot of bills that are coming out left, right and center. Your normal bills that you would expect if you were renting, and then also hidden bills, a lot of insurances that you have to pay for. For example, home insurance. Because you're going to have quite a few bills, it's very, very difficult to keep track, to know when's this bill coming out, when do I have to pay for this and all that stuff. So a homeowner tip that I would give to you guys, this is actually a life tip, this should be a tip for everybody. Make sure that you set a direct debit for all your bills, so that one, you don't forget to pay, and then also you don't miss a payment, because if you miss a payment, it will show up on your credit score, and you do not want that, because you already have this huge debt, which is your mortgage, that's showing up on your credit score. But if you miss a payment, it will be reflected, it will have an impact when you want to borrow money or do something in the future, because they'll check your credit score and see that you've been missing payments. So make sure that you set up a direct debit. And another tip that I would also say, make sure that you set up a direct debit for when you're actually getting paid, either on the day or the day after. So all your bills should come out at the same time, so that you don't start getting delusional thinking you've got all this money when actually you have all these bills that you have to pay. So as soon as you get paid, the direct debit comes out for all your bills, and then after that, that's the money that you have that you can play around with or not play around with. Because I don't know about you, because after all my bills come out, I'm just like, okay, so where do we go from here now? We're about to go from here. Another reality check, okay? Another truth about being a homeowner is that you become frugal and start counting the pennies. If you try and look back to when you're living with your parents, and they will be on your back for not switching off the lights, for wasting food, throwing away food, just on your back about all this stuff. Listen, once you buy your own house, yeah, you have a light bulb moment and you realize why they were on your back, because all that stuff cost money. When you're leaving the light on from this room going to this room, that's the electric going, that's the bill going. When you've got the gas on when there's no one in the house, that's more money being added to the gas bill. I'm gonna tell you something. One time I woke up, touched the radiator, felt that it was hot, and realized that I'd left the heating on the whole night. I have never been so upset and depressed in my whole life, because all I was thinking about how much I had wasted. Where I quickly ran onto my smart card reader so I could see how much money I wasted. Girl, I said to myself, I'm gonna have beans and toast the whole week. Okay, I'm not gonna do any food shopping to make up for the fact that I left the heating on. You become so frugal, you become so thoughtful when you're out shopping. Listen, I'm out shopping and I'm looking for the cheapest product. I'm not looking at the brands. For one, everybody knows I love shopping at Aldi. Shout out Aldi, by the way. And even in Aldi, I'm still looking for the cheapest item, and because more time, these items are the same anyway, just got different brandings on them. Sometimes I do take it overboard, like, because I've become so cheap. I've gone from being frugal to being cheap. So because you now have more expenditures, you're trying to now limit your expenditures, if that makes sense, for the things that you can control, because you've got fixed outgoings and fixed expenses that will never change. You're now trying to change or impact your kind of variable expenses. That's just a funny one that I just thought I would share with you guys about the truth and the struggles of being a homeowner. Most of you are probably going to watch this and think, ain't no way in hell am I going to be a homeowner. But I'm not telling you the truth about being a homeowner to scare you or deter you from being a homeowner. I'm telling you this so you guys are prepared. I'm telling you guys so you guys save more money before you actually move into your place, so you can actually consider and think about whether you are ready for that level of responsibility and level of commitment. I am telling you guys so that you are more prepared and as prepared as you can be. Of course, there are always going to be variables that you cannot account for or that you can't prepare for, but like I always say, you fail to plan and you plan to fail. So I really hope that you guys have enjoyed this video and you found this video useful about what they don't tell you about being a homeowner. Let me know in the comment section down below what other truths of being a homeowner that you guys know, and also like what other homeowner content that you guys want to see from me. If you have liked this video, then do not forget to give me a thumbs up, as it lets me know that you guys like this kind of content, and I'll give you more. If you come all this way, thank you so much. You're a real one. Just don't forget to subscribe to my channel and also press that notification bell so you never miss out a video from me. Make sure you're having a lovely day, night, evening, wherever you are, and I'm going to see you back here in my next video. Bye guys.